Welcome into Taylor Kitchen. Today we are making a fabulous turkey meatball in red curry kind of preparation. We're going to serve it over rice. It's going to have onions and peppers and mushrooms and this beautiful red curry gravy or sauce. And we're going to use turkey meatballs. So this is also budget friendly, although you can use any ground meat that you want. I'm going to start with the turkey meatballs, and they're so incredibly easy. I have in here just a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. I use my homemade breadcrumbs because they're just over the top delicious, so much better and better for you than the store-bought stuff. I will link to that super easy preparation. I can't even call it a recipe below, but you can do these in your own home with stale bread. And then to that I'm going to add a cup of milk. This happens to be coconut milk just because I like to keep it dairy-free. And then I need a teaspoon of salt. And then I have a couple tablespoons of fresh herbs, cilantro, parsley, mint, basil, whatever you have, it doesn't matter. It'll all be just absolutely delicious. And what I like to do is mix all that together, letting the milk kind of soak into those breadcrumbs before I add the meat. Whatever meat you use, just use the same kind of method, and this will ensure that your meat doesn't get tough when you're making those meatballs. And I'm just going to mix this all together. The turkey is going to absorb all the flavors of the fresh herbs that you put in. Just give it a little chance to get to know each other. Okay. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to put this aside for just a little while I start on everything that goes in here. Hey there, if you haven't yet, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications to our YouTube channel. Click that bell icon below to make sure you get all the latest from us. And also check us out on tkfoodie.com. We have a website with all these recipes and other great ideas for you. So check us out, tkfoodie.com. I'm going to start with an onion. This is a yellow onion. You can use any onion that you want, but I had yellow onions, so that's what we're using. And I'm just going to peel and dice these. You don't have to be super fancy with your dice. Any old dice will work. This is a homey dish, but it's absolutely divine. So much flavor. Let's chop that up. My skillet is heating up and I need a little bit of olive oil in here. And then I'm just going to transfer my onion. They're starting to sizzle right away. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the onions. This will help kind of draw the moisture out so they don't burn. They'll just become nice and translucent, which is what I want. I'm going to also take this opportunity to add a little pepper. Then I have this is orangish yellow. I would say a bell pepper of orange, yellow, or red nature. I'm going with the yellow because we're going to add in some Thai red curry paste, and that's going to give lots of color of a red nature to the sauce. So the peppers, I'm just keeping a different color. And those peppers all go in. Let's give this a little stir. All right, then my last veggie, it's not really a veggie, it's a fungus. They're mushrooms. And again, however you want to do the mushrooms, if you want to slice, I'm going to kind of quarter these. And did you know, when you bring your mushrooms home from the store or from the farmer's market, put them in a brown paper bag and put them in your fridge. They will last so much longer. That way they won't become slimy so soon and get that kind of very weird scent that they tend to get if you leave them in too long in your fridge. So that's a great tip to help preserve those precious mushrooms, especially if you end up buying the kind that are a little pricier. You could use white button mushrooms if you wanted. I don't know why, I just really like these. Unless I'm getting good mushrooms from the farmer's market, I like to kind of stick with the baby bellas or creminis as they're known, as my mushroom of choice for everyday cooking. And then stir it again. And I just need to let this simmer down a little bit and let these veggies cook for probably about 5-6 minutes. This is looking pretty good. I turned up the heat just a little bit. So now we're gonna move on with the rest of this dish, because after we complete everything in the skillet, we just need to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. It's really very easy. So this is red Thai curry paste. This is the flavor bomb. I like to call it a kapow condiment. It's not actually a condiment, but the flavor bomb for this recipe. And you can find this in pretty much every supermarket. It comes in a jar like this. This is the TaylorKitchen brand, and it's a Thai red curry paste, loaded with flavor. All the things, you could make your own red curry paste, but it would take you a bit of time. And they've done all the work for you. Put it in a nice little jar. It's not pricey, and it's just so delicious, not spicy. It's got a tiny bit of heat to it because it does have chili peppers in it, but just a tiny bit of heat. And I will show you, because the heat is diffused with coconut milk. And I am telling you, it makes this dish so luxurious. Now I'm using a can of full fat coconut milk here. Don't try to skimp on that. If you use the light version, it just won't give you the creamy sauce that the full fat will. But I'm just gonna pour this all, oh, you can see how glorious that is already. And I'm just going to stir everything around. And there's like little clumps kind of the coconut fat in there, but those will kind of melt into everything else as it heats up and just be so creamy, 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 creamy. Really good. Okay, now that's going. It's time to form the meatballs. And I love this because the meatballs cook right in the sauce. All you need to do is make them the shape you want them, drop them in. Then we're gonna cover and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. I like to flip the meatballs over about halfway. Remove my ring. And then we'll just take this turkey meatball mixture, and it's very loose, which is what you want. That way your meatballs are gonna be so tender. So about this size, whatever size you want, honestly. The smaller you make them, the quicker they cook. But then I just nestle them right into this curry mixture. So delicious. And so I'm gonna make all these meatballs. I'm gonna nestle them into the curry. And then we'll cover and let them cook away. All the meatballs are made. I'm just gonna cover this. I don't have a lid that actually fits this skillet, but this is close, and I'm just gonna cover it, and I'm gonna wait 10 minutes. I'm gonna flip the meatballs over, and after an additional 10 minutes, they'll be perfectly done. Our meatballs in a red curry sauce are done. We can plate this up and enjoy it right away. And oh gosh, I have a little bit of rice here, just your good old jasmine rice. And I'm going to scoop on a couple of these saucy meatballs. Oh my gosh. And then the sauce over it too. The sauce is the clincher, right? It's so delicious. So flavorful. Lots of it. Oh boy. That looks like one delicious bite of food. And then just for a pop of green, I'm going to tear over some mint. Any herbs, you don't have to, but I just like it that way. And then we're gonna dig in. Oh my goodness. You can see those meatballs are so tender because they've just cooked in the sauce. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Wow. That Thai red curry sauce is so flavorful. The broth or the curry that surrounds all these veggies and these meatballs is just phenomenal, and it soaks into the rice and makes for a super decadent bite. The meatballs are just tender and delicious. If you don't want to use turkey, use ground beef. It's very adaptable. If you want to leave any of the veggies that I used in here out and replace it with something else, you could leave out the mushrooms, and at the last couple of minutes put in some sugar snap peas or some snow peas, whatever you want to do. You can make this your own. It is absolutely delicious, and the recipe is on tkfoodie.com.